Hi guys, I'm a Forester here. This is the last in a series of videos that I'm making from these personal notes that I found in my father-in-law's belongings. The first video was about him enlisting in the Marines after the attack on Pearl Harbor, and the remaining videos have been about his life at Parris Island. In January 1944, I had gone to Denmark, South Carolina on a weekend pass to see Myrtle. Upon leaving that weekend, I told Myrtle if I was back before 2 weeks, it would mean that I had orders to ship out. I did show up the next Friday on a 72-hour pass. When Myrtle saw me, she said, "You remember what was said the last time you were here?" "Yes," I said, and we were married on January the 16th, 1944. My father-in-law's writings end at this point. Most of the story was left untold. He didn't talk about his experiences in World War II much until we took him to see Clint Eastwood's movie Flags of Our Fathers. The stories he told were not what I was expecting to hear. He enjoyed telling about the lighter moments more than the darker ones. His war stories were tinged with a sense of guilt, I guess because he felt so many suffered more than him. I can fill in some of the details about his service. As you may have noticed in the Size Matters video in this series, he spent 20 months at Parris Island after boot camp. This was a result of the Marines' policy of not separating brothers. His brother had been in the insurance business before enlisting, and he was assigned to continue working in that area for the Marines after boot camp. My father-in-law left Parris Island when he was ordered to Camp Pendleton in California in 1944. The 5th Marine Division was being formed up to fight in the Pacific Theater. After leaving Camp Pendleton, they trained in Hawaii on volcanic terrain. Now, the only way he could hint of his location to his wife was by sending her a letter with this dollar bill with the word Hawaii stamped on it. From Hawaii, they were shipped west to the remote island of Iwo Jima, where the 5th Marine Division first saw action in February of 1945. He was part of the 27th Marines who went ashore on the south side of the island. When telling me about this experience, he still had a strong memory of seeing the flag raising on the top of Mount Suribachi. His regiment went ashore and turned to the north toward the airfield. One of his favorite stories was of the antics of the pilots flying over the airfield after the island was captured. The 5th Marine Division returned to Hawaii after the Japanese surrendered to end World War II. They went back to occupy Japan, though, after the war. He was fond of telling about a time when he was invited to a Japanese family's home for supper. He wasn't familiar with the light materials that they used to build their homes, and it sounded like he almost knocked down a wall when he leaned against it. He returned home to South Carolina in January 1946 and began his life after the war. I enjoyed reading his writings after I found them, and I hope you've enjoyed this video series also. If nothing else, it will be available for family members to see and remember his service to his country. By the way, one of the most touching memories that I have is of taking him to the opening of the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. Young people recognized my father-in-law as a World War II veteran and asked to have their pictures made with him. I took pictures of people taking pictures of him. Y'all take care.